Good morning. Today we are going to study about the instructions which are used in our computer system slightly in a detailed manner. To begin with, the various contents in today's presentation are instruction code, then we will discuss the computer instructions in which we have the memory reference instruction, the register reference instruction, input, output and interrupt, followed by instruction set completeness, the instruction cycle and instruction format. So, what is an instruction code? An instruction code is a group of bits that tell the computer to perform any specific operation, and the instruction code comprises of two parts mainly, that is it does have an operation code and a register part. The operation code of an instruction is a group of bits that define operations such as the add, subtract, multiply, shift, complement. The number of bits required for the operation code depends upon the total number of operations that are available on the computer, and the operation code must consist of at least n bits for a given 2 raised to n operations, and the operation part of an instruction code specifies the operation to be performed. Then we have the register part. As we know that the operation must be performed on the data that is stored in registers, so an instruction code therefore specifies not only the operations to be performed but also the registers where the operand, that is data, will be found, as well as the registers where the results are to be stored. The stored program organization, in this we have the simplest way to organize a computer is to have processor register and instruction code with two parts. The first part specifies the operation to be performed, and the second specifies the address. The memory address tells where the operand in memory will be found. Instructions are stored in one section of the memory and data in another section. Computers with a single processor register is known as accumulator. The operation is performed with the memory operand and the contents of the accumulator. This is the diagram which shows about the various features of any computer system that comprises of the memory, the instruction format, we are having the accumulator, the binary operand, like just in our earlier slide we had discussed. Now the next content in today's presentation is our computer instructions, and here we are going to cover up the memory reference instruction, register reference instruction, and about the input output. So what is a computer instruction? These are a set of machine language instructions that a particular processor understands and it executes. A computer performs tasks on the basis of the instructions that are provided. An instruction comprises of groups which are called as fields, and these fields include the opcode, that is the operation code field which specifies the operation to be performed. The address field is there in this instruction which contains the location of the operand, and there is a mode field which specifies how the operand will be located. As you can see in the below a small diagram, we are having the mode field, the opcode field, and there is a operand oblique address of the operand. Next, any basic computer has three instruction code formats, which are memory reference instruction, the register reference instruction, and the input output instruction. So let us start with our discussion on memory reference instruction. In such type of instructions, we have the first 12 bits, as you can see in the below specified diagram. The first 12 bits, that is from 0 to 11, that is reserved for the address part. The next 3 bits, 12 to 14, that is reserved for the operation code or the opcode part, and the leftmost bit specifies the addressing mode. And in case of memory reference instruction, this addressing mode I can be either a 0 or a 1, and when it is 0 it is for direct addressing, and when it is 1 it is for indirect addressing. Next, the address field is denoted by 3 x's, x, and is equivalent to a 12-bit address, like just we had seen. The mode bit field of the instruction is it is represented by the symbol I, and we know that when I is equal to 0, the last 4 bits of an instruction have a hexadecimal digit, and that is equivalent from 0 to 6, since the last bit is 0 over here. And when I is equal to 1, in that case the last 4 bits of an instruction have a hexadecimal digit, that is equivalent from 8 to E, since the last bit is 1 in this case. In this diagram or on this table, you can see some of the memory reference instructions that are being shown, and we are having in the first column the mnemonics, that is the symbols which are used in case of memory reference instructions. Then the next 2 columns are the hexadecimal codes, and finally the column, it shows the description for the each instruction. As you can see, we have and instruction add load memory word to the accumulator, then we have store content of accumulator in memory, then branch unconditionally, then we have branch and save return address, and increment and skip if 0. Now let us discuss about the register reference instruction. In this, you can see in the below diagram there are 12 bits, that is from 0 to 11, which are reserved for the register operation, and again the next 3 bits, that is 12, 13 and 14. From 12 to 14, this is equal to the opcode part, which specifies the opcode, and the last mode bit of the instruction in register reference instruction, you can see that it is reserved and it is 0. So from this, therefore, we come to the conclusion that the leftmost 4 bits are always 0, 1, 1, 1, and this is equal to hexadecimal 7 in case of register reference instruction. Next, we have here, you can see in the table or diagram that these are the different register reference instructions, in which we have some of the symbols are like clear the contents of accumulator, then we have having halt computer, skip next instruction is it is 0, then skip next instruction if AC is 0. So like this, let us skip this and proceed to the next slide. Now comes the input output instructions. In input output reference instruction, we have the first 12 bits which specify the input output operation here. The next 3 bits, that is equal to 1, 1, 1, it specifies the opcode, and the last mode bit of this instruction is 1 in this case. So therefore, leftmost 4 bits are always 1, 1, 1, 1, the 4 ones. So here you can see now, this is again the table or diagram which shows the input output reference instructions, in which we have input character to accumulator, output character from accumulator, then we have skip on, input flag, interrupt on, interrupt off, like this. So these are the different input output reference instructions. Now the next topic which we will cover today is instruction set complete. What is this instruction set completeness. A set of instructions is said to be complete if the computer includes a sufficient number of instructions in each of the following categories as shown, that is in arithmetical, logical and shift instructions, then a set of instructions for moving information to and from memory and processor registers, instruction which controls the program together with instructions that check status conditions, then input and output instructions. The arithmetic, logic and shift instructions provide computational capabilities for processing the type of data the user may wish to employ. A huge amount of arbitrary information is stored in the memory unit, but all the computations are done in the processor registers. Therefore, one must possess the capability of moving information between these two units. The program control instructions, such as branch instructions, are used to change the sequence in which the program is executed, and the input and output instructions act as an interface between the computer and the user. Programs and data must be transferred into memory, and the results of computations must be transferred back to the user. So this is about the instructions and completeness. Now let us see what instruction. So what is an instruction cycle? An instruction cycle, also known as fetch, decode, execute cycle, is the basic operational process of a computer, and this process is repeated continuously by CPU from boot up to shut down of a computer, and these are the steps that occur during an instruction cycle, that is fetch the instruction, decode the instruction, read the effective address and execute the instruction. So the instruction is fetched from memory address that is stored in program counter and stored in the instruction register. At the end of the fetch operation, the program counter is incremented by 1 and it then points to the next instruction to be executed. And in decode the instruction, the instruction in the instruction register is executed by the decoder. Then it is followed by reading the effective address, that is if the instruction has an indirect address, the effective address is read from the memory, and otherwise the operands are directly read in case of immediate operand instruction. Then finally there is execute the instruction. The control unit passes the information in the form of control signals to the main functional part of the CPU. The result generated is stored in main memory or it is sent to the output device. So this is how fetching, decoding and reading the effective address and executing the instruction takes place in cyclic manner. Now let us see what instruction format is and types of instruction formats. So what is instruction format? The instruction format mainly consists of the operation code field, the address field, the mode field, and the operation code field specifies the operation to be performed. The address field designates the memory address, and the mode field, it specifies the way the operands of effective address is determined. The computers may have instructions of different lengths containing varying number of addresses. The number of address field in the instruction format depends upon the internal organization of its registers. An instruction is of varying length depending upon the number of addresses it contains. Generally, the CPU organization are of three types on the basis of number of address fields. So they are the single accumulator organization, the general register organization, and we have stack organization. In the single accumulator organization, the operation is done involving a special register called accumulator, whereas in case of general register organization, the multiple registers are used for the computation purpose, and in case of the stack organization, the work on stack is done and it does not contain any address field. It is not necessary that only a single organization is applied. A blend of various organization is mostly what we are generally looking at. So next, these instructions are classified as zero address instruction, one address instructions, two address instructions, and three address instructions. So let us see first what a zero address instruction is. A stack based computer does not use address field in instructions. So you can see in the diagram or in the table that the zero address instructions, they do not use any address field in their instructions. For that we have considered the expression as an example, in which you can see that to evaluate this expression, what we are going to do is we are going to convert this to reverse Polish notation, and that is postfix notation. So in the table you can see that we are having, no, in order to solve this expression, what we are doing is first we are pushing the A. Okay, so the top is pointing to A now. Then what we are doing is we are pushing the B, and now the top is pointing to B. So now we have to execute A plus B. So what we are doing is we are adding A plus B, and now our top is pointing to A plus B. Now we are pushing C, so our top points to C now. Now next we are pushing D, so our top points to D. So now we have to add these two. So we have given the instruction add, so now our top points to C plus D. Then we have to multiply these two. So what we are doing is our top is now pointing to C plus D, and earlier where we had performed this A plus B. And finally what we are doing is we are doing the pop operation, and the final result, that is the memory location, and this X, the resultant of our expression, is we are pointing to the top location. So this is how we have shown how this expression is being solved, and the way the zero address instructions are getting used here. Next, let us see the one address instructions, how they are performed and what are they. The one address instruction uses an implied accumulator register for data manipulation. One operand is in accumulator and other is in register or the memory location. Implied means that the CPU already knows that one operand is in accumulator, so there is no need to specify it. Again, we are going to see this expression how it is being solved by making use of one address instructions. This accumulator, this temporary location, and this location, memory location, and this empty temporary location, we are going to see that in the coming slide how we are going to solve this expression A plus B into C plus D by making use of one address instructions. So next, here you can see how by making use of one address instruction we have solved the expression. So what we have done, what we are doing here is that load A, so our accumulator is pointing to the memory location occupied by A. Then we are adding B, somewhere we are adding B to A, and since our accumulator A has been loaded to accumulator, so we are adding B to the accumulator, and the final resultant accumulator is pointing to the previous accumulator, which was where A is getting occupied, and we are adding B to A, and the result is getting stored in the accumulator. Then what we are doing is we are storing T is a temporary location, so this empty, that is a temporary location, memory occupied by temporary location, is equal to the final contents of accumulator, in which now we have the contents of A and B added. Now to perform the C plus D operation, what we have done is we are loading C just like we had done in the case of A. and then we are adding D. So again, just like we had done in the case of A plus B, you can see that finally the accumulator now is pointing to the accumulator where the contents of C are there and the contents of D. So these two are added together and our accumulator is pointing to that. It is followed by the instruction multiply, which is where now our accumulator is pointing to the accumulator where our memory location C is pointing to, which is multiplied by the memory location T. So this is the whole result. So that is why now we are storing, and X is our resultant register in which we are pointing this memory location to now to the contents of accumulator, and this accumulator holds our final result of A plus B into C plus D. So this is how one address instructions are being used in our computer. Next, now let us see how two address instructions are being used in the same expression. As you can see, this is common in commercial computers, that is these two address instructions are very common. Here two addresses can be specified in the instruction itself. Unlike earlier, in one address instruction the result was stored in the accumulator, here result can be stored at different locations rather than just the accumulator, but it requires more number of bits to represent the addresses. So again, you can see that this is the expression, and R1 and R2 will be the registers that we are making use of, and M, again memory is any memory location. So next let us see how in this particular table you can see that making the use of two address instruction, how that expression is being solved. This is a lot easier and easier to understand as compared to the zero address and one address. As you can see, the first instruction is move, where we are moving the contents of A to the register R1, and then what we are doing is we are adding the contents of B to the contents of R1 where we are having the contents of A, and that is finally being stored by the register R1. Similarly, now for the contents of C and D, we are repeating the same operation, that is move the contents of C to the register R2, then we are adding the contents of, that is add R2D, means we are adding the contents of D to the R2, and the result of C plus D is being stored in the register R2. And finally what we are doing is we are multiplying the contents of R1 and R2, and the result is being stored in the R1. And the final result where we are moving R1 to X, that is R1 is the main result and we are storing that result into our register X. In the three address instructions, you can see that it has three address fields to specify a register or a memory location. The programs created are much short in size, but the number of bits per instruction increases in such type of three address instructions. These instructions make creation of program much easier, but it does not mean that program will run much faster, because now instructions only contain more information, but each micro operation will be performed in one cycle only. That is, the changing of the contents of register, loading address in address bus, etc., these will be performed in one cycle only. And finally, below you can see that we are having the same expression, X is equal to A plus B into C plus A plus B into C plus D. The same R1 R2 registers are there, and then we have memory location to see how it is being solved using three address instructions. So you can see in this table that there is add instruction. The first instruction is add, followed by R1 comma A comma B, in which what we are doing is we are adding the contents of A and B, and the result is being stored in R1, followed by again the add instruction, in which we are adding the contents of C and contents of D, and the result is being stored in the register R2. And finally we have multiply operation, and R1 is multiplied by R2, and the result is being stored by the memory location X. So this is all about the instruction format is. So in this presentation we have discussed about the instruction in a slightly more detailed manner. Thank you.